HighLevel Release Radar, where we recap all of the week's new releases. Ryan, it is good to be back.
It is. Glad to have you in the same time zone I'm used to.
Not for long, though. Unfortunately, we're recording early today, so it could be cool. Hopefully, we get some of the early bird crowd, or maybe a different crowd in the comments today. So if you can see us and you can hear us, as always, please say hello in the comments. We love to see your comments pop up. It'll be interesting to see if we get a new crop of comments this morning at this early hour that we're streaming.
Different crowd. I see some people viewing the presentations. I think there are some folks lurking out there.
All right. Well, make sure you say hi. We're going to get our comments turned on, and I'm going to share the stream into the community so that we can get even more comments going on here. All right. Fantastic. I see the stream already, which is great. And let me forward this to our group, official community, HighLevel Release Radar. All right, we are live in all the places.
Already got some comments streaming in.
Already got some comments. I'm having a rough morning, Ryan. You know why?
Why is that?
Yesterday, for the first time in my life, I got a real teeth whitening. And now my whole mouth is so sensitive. It's like nobody told me how brutal a real teeth whitening actually is.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it's paying off. How do I look? Hopefully it was worth it. What do you say we hop into this week's releases?
All right.
All right. Let's see. Release number 1. Direct Instagram integration without a Facebook page. I saw this one and I was like, oh, wow. I thought that was like a meta thing that you had to have that. But I guess they've loosened the restrictions around this.
Yeah, I think this highlights our continued strong relationship with Meta in kind of opening up some of their backend levers and buttons. And so now we can kind of separate these two things. And if you don't have a Facebook page or don't want to connect it, you just have direct Instagram integration options.
That's nice. Dare say fancy. I just opened up the comments. We got a lot of comments already.
There is an early crowd.
The emoji didn't come through, but we get the gist. Good morning to you. We've got Ron checking in. Nice to see you, sir. We've got Andrew from Scotland checking in on YouTube.
All right.
Nice to see you. Let's hop to our next release, and then we'll get back to some more shout-outs. All right, we've got in-app notification banner for disconnected social accounts. This one's nice because I know this sort of has plagued people forever. And yeah, now you got a new notification.
Exactly. That'll take you right to it. It's in relevant places for that user, obviously. So this kind of highlights a lot of the backend work that's been done with the notification system. It will continue to improve as we've kind of teased. And eventually agencies will have the ability to push their own notifications for whatever they want. So
I was going to say, that's a sweet little coming soon that I don't think we've ever teased before. But yeah.
Oh, we have.
We have? Okay, cool. But yeah, that'll be great when you'll be able to trigger your own notification banners based on, whatever you want to. So I love it. Let's see. We've got Darren checking in from Atlanta. Good morning to you. We've got, a dear friend, Neaton, checking in. We are doing great, Neaton. Nice to see you as well. Hope everything's good with you. And Clay, the twins are back together. We are, although barely. So I'm about to head to the airport to head to Vegas. We're going to be at an event in Vegas. Any bets I should place for you, Ryan, while I'm up there?
Put it all on red.
All on red. All right, you got it.
CEO did.
You got it. And then we are heading to the next SaaSpreneur event, which is going to be in London next week. And I have to say, special shout out to all of the Aussies and the Kiwis who showed up for SaaSpreneur Live in Sydney. They came out in full force. Many bearing gifts, I have to say. I got a really special bar of kiwi chocolate, and I wish I had the wrapper still because it looked like a pack of Wolverines got to it as soon as that thing hit my fridge. So thanks to everybody who showed up, especially everybody who brought gifts. Really appreciate it. All right, let's check out our next release from the week. Rating elements in forms, surveys, and quizzes. I love this one. I think it's super useful, and I can't wait to see what everybody does with it.
Yep, you can use absolute values, percentages, fractions. So I'm sure you can imagine the ability to kind of get not just a yes or no answer, but a kind of in between. How are you feeling about certain things, or what's really important to you? That would be an example of
Absolutely.
how you could use that.
I love it. It looks
Mhm.
great. It's useful for so many different scenarios. It's sort of like a survey within a quiz or within a form. So yeah, check that one out if you are interested in getting some feedback. Next up, we have enhanced listings in prospecting reports with Global Scan API. What the heck does that mean, Ryan?
That is a great question. I'm glad you asked. So
Well,
the
I'm
main
here.
idea here is that we want to provide listings that are relevant to a specific geography. So like in the US, we kind of have our thing, and then like over in Europe, like they kind of have their things that are most important, that are most popular. So based on your location, those types of things are going to be listed in a different order, and of course presented to you differently. And then on top of that, just some like minor nice to have cleanups. We've got a partial match. So like if you start typing in Facebook, it would populate the whole thing. So basically much better searchability and relevant listings for your location.
Love it. Let's sorry, I got my screen stripped up here. Let's check out another check-in from Marco over in the German guy from Bulgaria. All right. Marco, nice to see you. Thanks for checking in. And we've got Steve coming in from Clearwater, Florida.
All
How are
right.
things doing in Florida, Steve? You guys heating up already, I bet?
Probably.
Let's hop into our next release of the week. The email builder got a spacer element. I got to say, Ryan, I don't like this one. I'm like, what? Do people not understand padding and margin? But I guess some people don't. And so this is like a little easy button here.
Yeah, if you just want to add some space and define it super fast, this is a way to do it. You could also do it with padding, but I guess less clicks, drag and drop and adjust, and you're done. So
I get it. I just really like to play with padding and margin because it makes me feel like I'm a coder, like I'm actually coding something up and I
yeah,
know what I'm
like it
doing.
matters. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, now you don't have to. You've got the easy button in there. So enjoy. Next up, we have easier access to share and troubleshoot calendar. I love this one. It just brings more exposure to something that I think is just incredibly helpful.
Yeah, not only that, but I think the share functionality is probably like the highlight there, where you're in something, you just want to grab it really quick. It's in the list of calendars, but it's also right there when you're editing it, so it's much more convenient.
Yep. We had a question come in from Scott. Great question. Are we going to get the ability to embed the voice chat on a website? I tried really quickly to go into Drive and find a visual for this, but I failed. But yes, Scott, actually, voice AI is coming into the chat widget soon. Sort of like an orb, I believe is the term that we're using for these like embeddable voices where you don't actually have to make a phone call. You can just click chat, the microphone turns on, and you can just click talk, I guess, and you can just start talking with the voice AI. It is super cool. It's very close to rolling out, so stay tuned. Our next update from the week was contact form submission and smart retry before chat. I don't think I even saw this one, Ryan. What do we got going on here?
This one essentially just saves progress. I think that's the best way to think about it. So if you've got a form where you're like, hey, before this customer is able to chat with me, I need some information, right? Pretty common use case. And not only can you do that, but it now is also smart. So if they come back to the conversation and they've already filled out the form, it's not going to display the form for them because it's already been filled out. So
Gotcha. Okay. That makes total sense. Sweet little update there. Van's checking in from the Philippines. And hey, his emoji came through. What's up with that? Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
The custom ones don't. I think the standard ones do.
Okay. Good morning from the Philippines. All my wish is the message notification super needed. hopefully you're talking about the one that we saw a couple of slides ago. So hopefully that's on the way for you, man.
And there will be an indicator too in the left-hand nav section. So that's coming as well.
Nice. Workflow's got an update. We now have AI-powered email copy generation. This is just, AI coming out everywhere. Basically, you're going to be able to write or create something. You can expect to be able to use AI.
Yeah. And there's one more slide here that kind of shows the interface where you put in the tone, write your description, and so forth, and just generate it on the fly.
I love it. I got to say, Ryan, writing has always been a strong suit, so I've been resistant to AI. Like, I don't need your help, but I'm over it. I've been using it left and right. It is so helpful.
It makes you go faster. I'll tell you that.
It does make you go faster, and it's just so smart. So
yeah,
if you haven't played with it, I would check it out. It's probably going to speed you up. And it's like having a superpower, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this one. All right, let's talk about this. We've got Enhanced Labs Framework for Location Level Feature Control. So first, Ryan, what does this mean? And then we'll talk about labs in general.
So this is essentially showing the ability to, at the sub account, sometimes we refer to it as a location, but at the sub account level, you'll have feature control for the lab. So this is sort of like a new interface where you can toggle between the agency level and the sub account level, because there are different types of features that might be relevant for each one.
Yes. And I think this is just the first step that you're going to see us take with really beefing up the labs experience. So going back to, the feedback that we've been hearing over the past year, I would say loud and clear. And so I think we've all come around to this idea of like, hey, instead of just rolling everything out straight into production like we do rapid fire, what if we pushed the bigger stuff all into labs? So it had a minimum incubation time, let's say, in labs, to give everybody just maybe 2 weeks to get their hands on it before it goes out into general production. And so if you haven't been checking labs, you want to start getting yourself in the habit of doing so, because everything is going to start funneling through there, and you're going to get more and more control over like who sees what when. So the sub account tab, I think, is a really important step in that direction, where you're going to be able to say like, okay, cool, this thing just rolled out. I want it live in, let's say, my test account so that I can play with it, but I don't want it live for the rest of my sub accounts yet. You have that control now. And so again, get in the habit of going to labs on a, I would say, daily basis to see what rolls in and decide if you want some of your sub accounts to have access to it while it's in labs, while we all play with it, get the feedback to the team, tweak things if we need to. And then Ryan and I are going to start shouting out things that are going to be coming out of labs so that you're aware. And if you haven't gone and played with it, you have time to do so before it hits the general code base. Did I miss anything, Ryan?
And importantly here, one of the main features for this release is that you can just push it for all the sub accounts. So yes, you can go in individually and say, okay, this one, I'm working with this particular client, they're going to need this. But let's say you've tested it out and you're like, all my sub accounts need this right away. That's sort of this functionality built into this new interface.
I'm super pumped up. I think it's a great idea. And so yeah, get ready to see a beefed up labs experience and get yourself in the habit of getting over there and checking it out.
And not only that, I do want to emphasize that the feedback, that there's a feedback button on all of these different releases. That doesn't go into the ether. The product team reads all that feedback and we use it to improve the product. So always make sure you're doing that, because we are listening and adjusting on the fly.
That is a great point. And we definitely want more feedback. So get yourself into labs, get in the habit of leaving feedback so that by the time it comes out of labs, it is squeaky clean release and everybody's pumped up. Alex is shouting out from Sydney. Chase and Rides, Alex, love the earlier time slot. That, isn't it super late for you? I can't even remember what the time difference is.
It is late. I think it's tomorrow for them at this point.
All right. I guess Alex is a night owl. Thanks for checking in, Alex. I miss Sydney already. Ryan, the oysters in Sydney are fantastic, and they're everywhere. Every restaurant has them. Delicious.
I'm really happy for you.
You're an oyster lover.
I'm not an oyster lover, but I'm
Okay.
happy for you.
Thanks, Ryan. All right, our next update, we have Launchpad for agency accounts. This is a big one that's been brewing for a while now. It's just a better experience for people as they first hit their app and they pop to the agency level. If they sign up on $297, I believe it'll take you straight there. Just to give you a lay of the land and sort of walk you through what makes sense and in order that it makes sense.
Yep. It is actually available across all plans. So if you're an agency, big emphasis on that agency, that's where you're going to see this at the agency level for all plans.
Nice. Well, if you just signed up and you're seeing it, let us know what you think. Hopefully it's helpful.
Yep.
Robert, we checking in. Good evening to you, Robert. You must be on a different side of the world because it's pretty early for us, but good evening to you. Next up, Google Ads conversion action flow. This one, I didn't see either, Ryan. This one sounds a little intense. What's going on here?
Yeah, so before you kind of had to do a lot of stuff within the Google UI. And so this is just expanding our reach into that system so that we can bring in a really simple interface for setting up conversions, whether that's online or offline. So you now got a nice little interface there for setting up all your conversions and what you want to have happen afterwards.
I love it. I feel like I missed an update or two last week that was relative to Google Ads. It's just getting more and more granular control, like of all the different options you have in the Google Ads Manager right inside of HighLevel. So I love it.
Yes.
Okay, let's check out our next update from the week. We've got revamped filter experience for dashboard widgets.
Yeah, so big highlights here are that they revamped the way that the filters work. You can now like duplicate them and change stuff around. The UI looks much cleaner. We've got nested groups, so you can create multiple filters using OR conditions. So if you love messing around with filters and like getting the exact data kind of displayed the way that you want it, we've got a much better experience around that. And then this is also not only true for the dashboard, but like on the next page, you'll see for building reports that is enabled there as well. So the idea here is that, yeah, we've got this cool dashboard. You can log in and see it, but sometimes you need to create static reports like PDFs that you just need to send to leadership or send to a CEO or whatever. So all those widgets you can build within sort of a printable or sendable format. And that's the difference between reports and the actual dashboard.
Yeah, I love it. I think these things look so great. And if you haven't played with reports, get in there. We used to pay for a third-party tool just to do this stuff. And now you've got it right inside of HighLevel. You can make them recurring. You can build your own. It's really great. So I would say check it out if you haven't played with that already. We've got Jose checking in from LinkedIn. GHL's extensive capabilities are a game changer. I'm auditing each module carefully to maximize its value, especially for unified sales marketing pipelines. Thanks for the update. Thanks for checking in, Jose. And I would say, don't get too careful. A lot of people get hung up trying to understand everything before they, really start putting things in motion. Pick one thing, set it up, get the chat widget on a site, and go from there. That's my 2 cents.
Absolutely.
Next up, template library support for webinar templates. So these things look awesome. Now they're in the template library. Pretty nice little update here.
Yep. So if you provide webinars to your sub accounts, you could of course upload your own, and we've got a bunch that are in there as well. And now a much more complete template library.
I love it. So Van's following up with a question about message notifications for us to be alerted when messages from our customers. So Van, I think what you're asking for, you can already do if you head into workflows and you use the custom notification action. The notification option is a push notification. So that's going to push in the browser and in the mobile app, but you could also trigger text messages, WhatsApps, like whatever you want. So check that out in workflows. I think you might be able to get what you're looking for already.
Yep.
All right. Our next update from this week, we have snapshot creation / refresh improvements. Oh, I missed this one too. What do we got?
All right. So this one, there's a lot of backend changes that happen. They basically like broke apart the entire API and like reorganized it, made it way better.
Oh, wow.
you're going to see a lot of those types of updates here as well. But we've now got new progress tracking, so you can see exactly what it's doing, how many assets it's loaded, and then there's improved error handling. So if there's some issue with one of the assets that's within the snapshot, you'll see that as well. So overall, I mean, the big effort here is to make this. I think in the past there were some issues with really big snapshots failing here and there. That's not happening anymore. The error reduction has been tremendous. So this works way better now. Basically a brand new engine. So
amazing. And this feels like, I don't know if you saw my post in Facebook, but a good time to shout out that backend team that has just been plowing through updates to improve the speed, the reliability, the stability of the app. Huge gains lately. So here's another one. If you're using snapshots, you should see that they're just performing better all around.
Mm-hmm.
And here's a check-in from a familiar face. Hey, it's Friday. It is Anne-Marie. Happy Friday to you. Always nice to see you. Let's check out our next update from the week: smarter category scoring and dynamic results in quizzes.
Yeah, so category scoring in quizzes got a little revamp here, most of which is like instructions and tooltips and like showing you how you can use this. You can also toggle between like percentage, actual score, and then like 0 out of 10, 1 out of 10, stuff like that. So a lot of cool enhancements to quizzes. If you haven't used quizzes and that's something that is part of your business, I would definitely check out this product. It looks really good, amazing features within it. And there's lots of things you can do with it afterwards, right? It's not just a static thing. Based on results, you can import people however you want.
Yeah, if you need to build a quiz, definitely go do it in HighLevel. The quiz builder is insane. It looks really great, and there's tons of like optionality. The way it spits out the results is really cool. So give that a whirl if you haven't played with it yet. Next up, this one I need to take a step back here. This is something huge. I am so excited for. We have an update to the way that global sections work. We have universal sections now. This is essentially the way we've always wanted to work. Like if you've been building websites in HighLevel, you know the frustration of like, okay, wait, global sections are amazing, but they don't carry over across my websites and funnels. Now they do. It's there. It's live. If you haven't played with it, get in there. The reaction to this thing has been overwhelmingly over the moon, I would say.
Yes, people are very happy. There are some people crying. But just to recap, if you don't know what we're talking about, there are now 3 different ways that you can have sort of templated like rubber stamps for sections of a website or a funnel. And sections would include, the elements within it, like a heading and stuff like that. So you'd have like a hero section, a body section, a footer, stuff like that. So now you have templates, which have always existed. Those are static, so you can just pull those in whenever you want. If you make changes to them, they don't affect anything else. If it's been implemented anywhere else, those changes don't take effect. Then you have global sections wherein, let's say you're on one specific website, you want to have a global section like a footer, and when you update it one place, it updates it everywhere else that it's been put on that particular website. The universal sections do that same thing, but across multiple different websites within the same sub account. So that's the huge update here.
Yes. And that's like, I think footer you mentioned is a good one, right? Like you might have separate websites, separate funnels for different things, but your footer is always the same. Now you can have that universal section that persists across all of that stuff. And if you change it anywhere, all of the footers and all of the sites will update as well. It is massive. Anne-Marie's loving it. And it really is incredibly powerful once you start to wrap your head around it. So yeah, it's live. Check it out if you're building sites in HighLevel. If you're not, what are you waiting for? What are you doing? I mean, snapshots, websites, unlimited sub accounts. Think about it. We got a check-in from Scott coming over. Switched our company over from ClickFunnels 2.0 to HighLevel, and it's been the best decision ever. You guys are already the best, and the fact that you are still releasing improvements weekly is insane. That's right, Scott. Every week, new
We
stuff.
are
It's
insane.
it's like Christmas every Friday. Welcome aboard. We got comments flying in left and right here, asking questions. We'll catch up to those in a sec. Let's check out our next release of the week.
Well, this is just another screenshot of what those universal sections are and where they're located. So
it is certainly worthy of a double slide, Ryan. I agree with you here. I'd also like to shout out. Let me see if I can get the laser going on.
oh
There
boy.
it is. Pre-built sections. If you guys haven't checked out the pre-built sections, they are phenomenal. They look awesome. Think like, oh, every website should have like a testimonial area. There's pre-built blocks for that that look really fantastic. So haven't checked those out, definitely do so. Let's see what our next update is. Media storage got drag and drop support in the funnel modal. Excuse me.
This one was a bit of a parity update. So in other places, this was working just fine. Funnels, there was a little bit of a deficit. So now when you drag and drop from your Finder window or your File Explorer, if you're in Windows, it will just go right into the media library. No more clicking, opening dialog boxes, and so forth.
Nice. That one's sweet. We got a question from Andrew. Will agencies ever be able to add our own custom notification banners? Yes, Andrew. That's what we were teasing earlier. You will be able to trigger your own notification banners. And that's coming pretty soon, I think. So stay tuned on that one. And then we got James checking in from New Zealand. Kia ora. Kia ora to you, James. Thanks for saying hey. Nice to see you. All right, next update from this week. Conversation AI has new static cards added to the dashboard.
Statistic cards. So this is going to be for appointment cancellations, rescheduling, and transfer actions. So you'll now be able to see those particular actions in the dashboard, so you can see how many times your AI agents or bots have done certain things.
I love it. Good time to remind everybody we are in the summer of AI, which means if you opt into that promotion, you get to use AI for free for 30 days. So if you're not playing with Conversation AI yet, this would be an amazing time to get your hands on it because it won't cost you anything. And Ryan, I got to say the usage of voice and conversation AI is just skyrocketing. I saw a chart the other day, which makes total sense, right? Businesses are waking up to the fact that, hey, we can really supercharge things if we start leveraging these AI agents. So never been a better time to get your feet wet when it comes to AI because we are in the summer of AI.
Yes, sir.
Marco's pumped up, I'm assuming, on global elements. Me too, Marco. Me too. Let's see what our next update was. Conversation AI is now context-aware appointment booking. Oh, this one's cool, right? Because before, like, you might have booked, and then if you keep talking, it doesn't know that you booked.
It's trying to book you again. Yeah. So this is adding some more, injecting more intelligence into the artificial intelligence. So it maintains the context of the conversation. So if you follow up with a question, it's not going to like revert to trying to book you again. Answer questions about the appointment that you already booked. So
I love it. It's just getting smarter and smarter. Check out this check-in. Anne-Marie is so pumped up on AI. She's wrapping her SUV to promote it locally. Wow. I love it. Anne-Marie, please make sure we get a photo of that posted in the group.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome. All right, our next update, App Marketplace has a new help and support drawer. Looks nice.
It does look nice. So if you're in the App Marketplace and you need some help, you want to look at some documentation, it's all organized there. API stuff, documentation, like I said. If you need to schedule an appointment with the team, I believe that that's available as well. So go and check that out in the App Marketplace. Super useful for the devs out there.
Love it. Next update, workflows, enhancements to the affiliate sales trigger. If you don't know, we have a whole suite of affiliate program management tools inside of HighLevel. You can run your own affiliate programs, and now it just got even better.
Yeah. So now you can filter like the specific affiliates, the campaigns they're on, whether or not what the payout method status is, if their tax forms have been filled out. So this is actually a pretty big update because there's certain things that you don't want to happen if they haven't, filled out their tax form, let's say. So this is a way to kind of filter out those particular affiliates.
Nice. Our next update is another one for conversation AI. We now have additional instructions, basically a character limit to that field, right? So now we can basically expand our prompts.
We went from 1,200 to 2,000. So we gave you an extra 800 characters of additional instructions so that you can be as explicit as possible with your AI agents, which of course makes them better over time.
Nice. Love it. Scott's got a question about phone numbers. Is there any plan to filter the chat by phone number? So Scott, you can do this already. You just need to assign the numbers to your users, and then the users filter by themselves, and that filters the number, I believe. So should be able to accomplish what you're doing. Just tie the numbers to a user and you're good to go. Let's see. Our next update. This one I saw and I was like, oh, that's nice. Text snippets, big fan. If you're not using snippets, what are you doing? You can now access them in the email builder, which makes sense, Ryan, because our snippets are basically our, FAQ responses, and it makes sense you might want to drop one into an email.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was going to shout you out on this release, but you already did it. So I think text snippets in general, like it's the quick, easy button for stuff that you just answer all the time or questions that you ask people all the time. And so, we've now got parity with the email builder for those.
Yep. And I'm going to double down here because I honestly think you can build a whole business around just setting people up with text snippets. Such a time saver. Yep. You combine it with the mobile app and you're good to go. Now we have conversation AI, which takes it to another level, but some of us still do things manually around here. Next update, change campaign source in existing campaigns. I believe this is also for the affiliate manager, right?
Yes, this one I should have noted is the affiliate manager. So I think before you had to pause the campaign or create a new one to be able to change the source. So let's say you've got an affiliate campaign where you're like, hey, I want to get people to go out and have them get customers for me. I'll give them, a percentage of that. But all I want them to do is just fill out this form. So you could say the source would be the form, or maybe you want them to go to a website or whatever it happens to be. So that's how that's the whole meaning of source there. And now you can change it within an existing campaign.
Love it.
Yep.
Question coming in from Anthony at Marketplace. Is there a sunset date on the version 1 API for adding context? No idea, Anthony, but I would definitely check in with the team to get you a better answer there.
I'm not aware of a sunset date, but just 2.0 is better. Trust me.
There you go. Don't wait for the sunset date. Move over to 2.0, and you'll love it. Next update, language control for Client Portal. This one I think is actually huge, right? So we've got Client Portal, and now it's available in 12 other languages, I think it was, something like that.
Yeah, we've got German, Spanish, French, Canadian, French, Dutch, Portuguese, Italian, Swedish, Spanish, Finnish, Norwegian. So a lot of different languages there. We did get some good feedback on a recent town hall about this as well, where we might be introducing some dynamic language selection. So based on the user's browser, if it's a Spanish browser, then we might just switch it automatically. So further enhancements for multilingual definitely coming down the road, and as always, powered by feedback from our users.
Yep, I just threw the URL. If you're not in the daily town halls, go register. You can sit down with the product teams pretty much every day, give them the feedback, work with them on new stuff. Ryan, did I also see that this one is applicable to the mobile app for the Client Portal too? Did you catch that?
I'm reading.
I think
child app. So I'm not sure about the mobile app, but
okay. We won't.
It would be coming soon. I will just say that.
Don't quote me on that. But Client Portal is a big deal. It's also relevant to collab and courses and communities and all of that. So if you've been holding off on that because your users are, in a different language region, check it out. I think this might be your week. Next update, we have the ability to reorder uploaded images in product creation page. This is handy.
This is because, so let's just say that you're creating, this would be pretty specific to an e-com store. So you're creating an e-com store. If you didn't know, you can do that in HighLevel. And you've got, a coffee cup and different angles of the coffee cup with or without coffee. You can now sort of reorder all those, what they look like, what the primary one is. And then that gets displayed within, the actual site when they're looking at the page. So very nice update there for visual enhancement.
Absolutely. Love it. All right. Now we are heading into a new segment. And I think this segment will start to evolve as Labs evolves. But here, let's check out some stuff that is entering Labs. First being the ability to cancel and reschedule appointments with conversation AI bots.
Yeah. So before, the bots couldn't really do this in conversation AI. They could book appointments, but when it comes to the complicated task of rescheduling, I'm sure everybody's aware of that if you've dealt with it. They now have that superpower. So this is now in Labs. So you've got to go to Settings, Labs to enable it. But yeah, give it a whirl. I think this will really help a lot. I can't tell you how much, like, I've worked with different businesses that have to do this, and it's like they've got dedicated employees that all they're doing is basically rescheduling and dealing with cancellations and figuring out all that stuff out. It's a huge time suck. Put the robots to work here. This is something that they're way better at and way more useful at doing. And that's the
robots to work, Ryan. I think you just dreamed up a new T-shirt for the swag store. I think we need to get that over to the team. Put the robots to work. So that one's in Labs. Is that the first one in the new sub accounts tab? I wonder.
I think it is. Yeah.
Nice. Cool. We'll go check it out. Hit the new tab. You'll be able to, again, have control over which sub accounts you want to activate that for. And yeah, Labs coming at you. Next one, we have Ask AI Update Contact Summary Agent. This is internal only. What's that mean, Ryan?
That means that we weren't supposed to announce this, but I kind of
I love it when you do that.
I just did it. This is only in our sub account, so you guys can't see this. We've got some special access, but this is what it looks like. So again, V1 here, but I think it's really useful. The idea is that there's a custom prompt that's already built in the background. So instead of having to like type out everything exactly, you just say, hey, I just want to get a summary of a particular contact. So you just click on the little button that says, give me a summary of this contact. You then select it from a drop-down list. Of course, you'll be able to search, and then it will go in and give you a summary of exactly what's going on with that contact, things that could be improved about it, stuff like that. So it's really just like an executive summary for like what's happening with this person.
Yeah, and from the screenshots that I saw, I haven't played with this yet, but I don't even think you have to click the thing. I think you can just start typing and say like, hey, tell me about Ryan Howe. And it'll start telling you about the contact. And you could say like, what about appointments? Have they had any? Or when was their last appointment? Or when did they last buy something? Yeah. And it basically will start reading all the details of that contact and just give you the update you're looking for. So
exactly. Yeah, that's a key point. You can get the summary, but then you can just dive in deeper and start asking questions about it as well.
Yeah.
Probably the most important part.
This is going to be huge. And this is, again, just like we're just getting started with this new Ask AI feature. But you can see where it's going, right? Basically, Ask AI will be able to know everything about your account, and you can just start chatting away. Like in the future, I'm sure you'll be, and maybe with this update, you could say, is this contact currently in any workflows? Things like that, really helpful stuff where you used to have to like go do your own investigation. The idea is you can just ask AI and it will let you know. Yep. So really excited. Again, you can't play with this one yet, but you will be able to play with it very soon, probably next week, I would say. Let's talk about some more back-end enhancements, Ryan. You want to run us through this? Because some of this stuff is just like, wow.
Yeah, this is actually a very truncated list. So for those of you that care about this stuff, I think it's more just to shout out all this back-end work that it's just an unsung hero the team that works on the back end. And what this really boils down to is making the app faster. It's lowering our costs, which then helps us to make sure that we can give you the best features, hire the best people, that kind of stuff. So it's always feeding back to the customers. But the main thing there is that things are getting better. A couple shout outs about this. We reduced we had some massive CPU and memory usage reductions from like 95 to 60%. That was a really big one. A lot of these other ones too are MongoDB, which is a database stuff. Latency is just like the time it takes to do things got super, super fast. So big stuff there. And then on the next page, there's probably some more tangible things like a 98% plus reduction in error rates. This is probably the most notable thing, this second one here on the list. So all those errors led to problems and bugs and all these different things. We've reduced that dramatically. And then the social calendar is now rendering 77% faster.
Yeah, so, amazing stuff.
Just an enormous amount of work is getting done on the back end. You may not see it, but you will feel it.
That's right. So clap it up for the devs. Amazing work on the back end.
Love you guys.
Team, and they're not going to stop. So you can expect the app to just get snappier, faster, quicker, more reliable week by week here. All right. It is time for my favorite part of the show. This week, we've got some Squirrel-tastic upcoming releases.
It felt like summer. I don't know.
Look at that, dude. That's hilarious. But nowadays, it's like, is it AI or is that a real squirrel that knows how to surf?
Everybody can teach a squirrel how to water ski.
What do we have coming soon? We've got a new contact details page. That's what. Ooh, I haven't seen this one.
This one looks really good. I've got 2 screenshots. It's kind of hard to see, obviously, but this one is a huge revamp, from the UI, what it looks like, what it feels like, functionality, and that you're going to see a lot more. I would say a faster interface, like we were saying before, but then one that makes a little bit more sense and organized in a way that's easier to use for users. And less distracting as well.
Right away, I love how the conversation area is much bigger. That is super helpful when it comes to emails. I think right now we all know the pain of dealing with emails with just the little slim thing in the middle. The other thing that I really love is that this also teases the new, look at this up here. Doesn't that look nice?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't that look so much more modern?
It looks newer.
Fun? Yes. I agree. I can't wait for that new top bar to roll out, and maybe they'll roll out together. I'm not sure, but hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I think Ryan has one more for us. We've got coming soon, unified URL redirects for domains.
So this might settle our argument that we had a few weeks ago.
Okay, Ryan, you gotta have the last laugh here. All right.
But here we can get better organization. So when you're looking at a domain that's in HighLevel, you're not going to have to go to the URL redirects and like, okay, I want to do this. It's all going to be organized for that domain. So you can see, okay, on this domain, these are the redirects that I have. Here are my DNS records and all these different things. So it just makes sense. It really is bringing in the new functionality of being able to host, or I should say register domains and DNS within HighLevel. If you didn't know that, you can do that now. You can also resell it to your sub accounts. But you can also do all the fancy stuff for redirecting URLs and stuff right within that same interface.
I love it. You just reminded me, I think Varun owes us a beer or something, because when we were rolling out domain purchase in HighLevel, I forget what the number was, but it was like, man, are we really going to see that many domains purchased in 6 months or something? And it just got smashed through the roof, right? Everybody's loving it. Of course, the experience is awesome. You can buy
domains.
domains.
And I were betting on this being like a really popular feature.
Yes, and we were correct. And so Varun, I'm not going to forget, you owe us beers at Summit. If you've purchased a domain in HighLevel, please let everyone know in the comments how nice of an experience it is. It's all powered by Cloudflare. And in the very near future, you'll be able to transfer domains that you've already purchased somewhere into HighLevel, which I can't wait for, because I'm going to get all my domains out of whatever the heck bought Google domains.
Oh, gosh.
Into HighLevel.
Yeah.
And I agree with you, Ryan. I don't think this settles our argument that we were having, but I love this because it's unifying two nav items, and I always think that's awesome when we can get things cleaned up and simplified. So right now there's a domains tab and then there's a redirects tab. We're just going to bring them together because it makes sense. And this looks lovely. I think this will be a nice unified experience here.
100%.
All right, Ryan. Well, I'm getting push updates left and right from American Airlines telling me that I have to get to the airport, and I haven't even packed yet. So I should probably get moseying. But
good luck. Godspeed.
I'm so glad we were able to make this happen at the earlier time slot. It looks like it's a good time slot. I feel like we got a lot of comments this week. So thanks for checking in, everybody. If you're in the London region and you don't have a ticket, I think you might still be able to get one. I think I have approval to give away like 3 myself. So hit me up if you want to be there. I might be able to get you a ticket, and we can't wait to see everybody. Oh, we got more updates flying in. All right, we don't have time. I got to get out of here. Hope everybody has an awesome weekend. We will see you next week.
See ya.